Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of TLD Chat. Today, we're going to be talking about, just briefly, our event coming up in January. January 29th and 30th is TLDC 18. It is the second in the series of TLDC events that we started at TLDC 16 in San Diego. This year, TLDC 18 is going to be in beautiful, lovely Phoenix, Arizona, January 29th and 30th. That is 76 days away. We will be at the Galvanize Training Facility in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. And specifically today, what we're doing is hanging out with one of our fantastic community members and leaders of one of the larger segments of our schedule. We have a great program that is supplemental to the event as a whole, and we'd like everybody to learn a little bit more about what that is. It's a multi-day workshop called Creating a Culture of Learning with Cheryl Johnson, and we have Cheryl with us today. Hi, Cheryl. How are you?
Great. Glad to be here.
Outstanding. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, this event was something that you've been working on for quite some time and have been fine-tuning it for a while now. And we thought it was a fantastic course or workshop long-term that really focuses on the needs of workers in the training, learning, and development field. So give us a quick high-level overview or description of what people might expect.
Well, we titled it Creating a Culture of Learning, which, I know is kind of a buzzword in the industry these days. And I'm not a big fan of buzzwords, but I haven't come up with anything better. That is, and the other part of this is, it's such a broad topic. What is creating a culture of learning? This workshop actually started, I started building it many years ago, and it was focused really initially on how to build great formal learning experiences and how to make sure that the learning experiences that you're building really do drive business outcomes, and that your learning, objectives are tied to those business outcomes, and that it really was making a difference. We all talk in the industry. I've been to, like many of you, I don't know how many different conferences I've been to that have talked about this topic, and yet rarely do we go back to work and really make a change in what we're doing. After 20 years of being in this industry, we're still so focused on creating formal learning experiences. And I'm not going to discount that there is a lot of value to that, and that there is a time and a place for that. But this whole focus of creating a culture of learning is really trying to put our finger on the pulse of when do we use different types of learning? And if we're trying to accomplish certain outcomes, what's the most effective way to do that? And to make sure that our organization that we work for becomes a culture, that the culture of learning is nurtured there. Because I believe, especially, as we move away, finally, I guess, from the industrial age and into the knowledge age or information age, or I don't know, all the different terms we use.
The digital transformation.
There we go. I like digital transformation. That's a good one. But the thing is that information is changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
And if you hire an employee today with a certain skill set, they might need almost a whole new skill set within a couple of years. And do you want to constantly be hiring new people with the skill sets that you're looking for? Or do you want to hone and nurture that kind of environment where you can take the people that you've worked with in the past and have been successful in your organization and help them transition to the new opportunities that are available for them and the opportunities that are going to keep your company viable, in the future? So that's at the core of what it's all about.
Awesome. And it sounds to me like a very appropriate topic because of all of the transformation that's going on. And I think anybody at any level in their career can benefit greatly from at least having this change of mindset. around what it is that we do as training and learning and development professionals, and what this is going to look like in the workplace of the future.
Yes, definitely. And I am really excited that we're doing it here at TLDC, because I believe, with my experience with TLDC, that this is the right audience. I've been looking for the right audience for this. And as I've interacted with people here and the membership and come to the conferences, they're my people. I'm really excited that that this kind of message resonates with our members, and that they're able to capture this vision.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, let's talk just a little bit about, because this is unique. Let's talk about the logistics of this. I've had a few questions from folks asking us and not being real sure about, how this multi-day workshop is planned. Can we talk a little bit about the logistics and kind of the idea behind separating it out into what do we mean when we say a multi-day workshop, when there's only really 2 days of the event, and we're calling this it's a pre-event sort of happening. So what is this going to look like logistically?
Yes, there are many ways that we can deliver learning, and the one that I've chosen for this is a project-based learning experience. I'm strongly encouraging people to come to the table with a project that they want to complete during this time. And I'm excited too, because it is a pre-workshop to the conference, because I think it will help set the stage for the other workshops that you'll attend while you're at the conference, because hopefully they will lead you to new ideas and exciting ways to deliver learning in this new blueprint that we're going to try to create with this project-based approach. And so a lot of what I've been doing lately, we've talked a lot about how learning is a process and everything. I really like the idea that we build learning campaigns, because there is such a marketing element to learning. And I think we discount that so much, convincing people that they want to learn what it is we're offering or whatever, and making sure that the needs of the learning program match the wants and desires of the people that we're delivering it to. So in that vein, a campaign isn't something that we build one day and deliver it one day and walk away and say, oh, we hope we've changed people's way of thinking. Mm-hmm. So if we think of it in terms of a campaign where we're using a lot of marketing ideas, but you come to the project, or I should say to the workshop, with a project. And in our very first virtual sessions, we'll have 3 virtual sessions, 2 hours each, delivered via Adobe Connect, where we'll talk about your project, and we'll kind of set the stage for building it once you get there to the conference the day before the conference. And so during those 3 2-hour sessions, we'll be talking about what it is your culture looks like. What does learning look like at your organization, and how is it typically delivered, and how do people find information that they're looking for when they're looking for it, and are people excited about learning, and how does learning currently plug into what your organization does? And that's only the beginning. That's probably the first session. As we get into the second and third session, we'll start taking that and identifying some gaps. What gaps currently exist? If people are wanting to learn information and they're not able to, or skills or attitudes, whatever, not just information, where are they getting the resources to do that, and what gaps exist, and how can we start to fill those gaps? Yep. More often than not, I have found that organizations think, oh, this is a great big huge endeavor we're undertaking here, and we're going to have to change the way we do everything. No, it's more about identifying what you currently have, how you currently deliver it, and how you can tweak it around the edges a little bit over the course of time, to make sure that your people are getting what they need to feel like they are developing in their careers, and that your organization is getting what it needs to make sure that their employees have the skill sets and the attitudes that they need to complete their jobs.
So it's great. It sounds to me like, so and just to summarize here just quickly, so you said 3 2-hour virtual sessions beforehand, and then we're going to be meeting face-to-face, correct? Before the event? And
Mm-hmm.
then any follow-up after the event?
Definitely. Because I've done this, I've delivered this workshop numerous times, and the most common feedback that I get, and I hope it's not negative feedback, is when they walk away, they're overwhelmed. They're like, where do we start? What do we do? But think about it. How many times have you gone to a learning, event of some sort or a conference, and you walk away and you're just like, whoa, that was awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah. But where do I begin? And so what we want to do is kind of set the stage in the 3, pre-conference workshops, and then kind of build a blueprint while you're there.
Yep.
But it's still pretty high level. It's still just a blueprint. And then after that, I work with you one-on-one to say, okay, now exactly how are you going to, logistically, how are you going to implement this in your organization? And so that follow-up coaching to me is probably the most valuable thing you will get, because you will not only have walked away from this workshop that I'm delivering, but you'll be walking away with all of the other information you've gained at TLDC, and we can put together a plan for implementing it at your organization. I love action.
Yeah, and that's the best part, right? It's that ability to prep yourself for the event as well. That this piece of the whole entire TLDC 18 event is really can be utilized as prep work, right? To really center yourself on a particular project and the issue that you're working on. Doesn't mean that people can't do this type of thing on their own, but this goes above and beyond. We would hope that everybody would come to the event with a project or some ideas, and some issues that they may be dealing with. But when you're able to focus in a workshop like this, and I will throw in real quickly too, that we are limiting this, because in order for you to be able to do as much hands-on and to make this as high touch as you make this workshop, we can't have 50, 100 people in it. We have to keep it a relatively small cohort going through this program with you. But the other valuable side of that is, for those of you that sign up early and actually get in on this workshop, you'll also not only be learning how to craft and understand and solve your own issues and training problems that you're dealing with in your workspace, but you'll also be able to hear from your cohort and learn from them and to experience what they're doing. So there really is this sort of compounding learning experience that you're going to get that can impact you personally, but then you can also help your peers, and you can also learn from your peers in this very, very tight cohort of peers. We're going through this workshop together. So it's something that I think we're really excited about offering to the TLDC community, and so glad that you're offering it to us and giving us the opportunity to present it here.
Yes, and that's very important to focus on. Is this will be a very intimate group, and we want it to be that way, because more often than not, when people come to a quote training, our favorite word, right? They expect something very tactical. It's like, I want to learn how to build a course in Storyline. I want to learn how to work with variables in Captivate and do, very tactical things. This isn't tactical. And more than anything, what you're going to walk away with is a broad understanding and a whole lot of resources that you can then take and use and customize in your environment. So what better way to learn how to customize something big and broad like this with other people who are doing it in their environment and seeing how they're doing it and what's working and not working, and why do we talk about these things all the time and never implement them? What are the challenges people are facing and how have they overcome them?
Yeah. And it's a lot of what I've discovered in workshops like this, going through sort of a longer term cohort style workshop, is that you do learn a lot of the ins and outs that aren't often discussed in the actual, bullet points of the presentations or in the content. But when in hearing from other people's experiences, you start to really understand the details of the politics within your organization, right? How to navigate through, different, just real world business experiences, and being able to take all of these ideas and really honestly be able to put them into action, not in sort of a dream world and in the perfect business scenario, but oftentimes being able to take really great solutions and understanding how to implement them in the not so perfect, mostly imperfect business scenario that we all have a tendency to find ourselves in.
Definitely. And that's been one of my biggest frustrations or challenges in this business that I've been in for a long time, is that, you know, we always talk about the ideal, but getting to that ideal is really challenging. And I love brainstorming with people, especially those who've had those similar challenges, and saying, hey, how did you do it? What did you do to overcome those challenges? And how can I take that and apply it in the environment in which I work?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. And we are really, really, really looking forward to it. I know the folks that have already signed up for it are also very excited about it. We've got other folks that are interested in hearing more about it, which is why we've put this little conversation together. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Cheryl, for hanging out and telling us a little bit more about the workshop coming up.
Thank you for inviting me to do this. I'm really excited. I don't know how to say. I get overwhelmed with enthusiasm sometimes, and I have to tamper it down a little bit. So this is definitely my favorite topic, and it's my favorite audience to work with. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And you know what's going to be kind of fun is that if the attendees, depending on if they're able to, if we could also report out afterwards, right after the workshop is done, some of the key learnings, and share it with the community here on TLD Chat, or at the events later on, or in some other format. Because I think some of the work that's going to come out of this multi-day workshop called Creating a Culture of Learning is going to be some really, really interesting solutions and some interesting outcomes that are going to come out of it. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So again, thank you so much, Cheryl. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody on here, and we'll come back and we'll do it again. We're definitely going to have you on TLD Chat before the event, and we can maybe talk a little bit more about it as well. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Look forward to it. Thanks, Brent.
Awesome. And everybody, hey, don't forget TLDC 18 is coming up January 29th and 30th in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, at the Galvanized Training Center. We are going to have such a fantastic time. This workshop is just one piece of the event. The rest of the sessions and the keynotes are going to be definitely something that you are not going to find at your usual learning and development style event. So we're all looking forward to it, and we hope you'll be there. So please join us. If you have any questions, hit us up at tldc18.com and get registered, or contact us at info@tldc18 or tldc.us, or you can just hit me up directly at brent@tldc.us. That always works. So thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you next time. Adios.
Adios.